the way I'm living now, the life that I have now, I attribute it 100% to that period when I went to that primary school.
Wow.
Because it showed me better. It showed me my kid can be dropped to school with a car.
Part 2, 3, 2, 1.
That's my main man, Aizo. Behind the camera, we also have Omai. Excited to be back here having an amazing conversation on the Playhouse. We've got none other than Philip Karanja with us sharing his life journey. If you're catching us here, do your life a favor. Start this thing from the beginning. Context is very important. So now, class 4, I heard you say you transition.
Yeah.
Just explain to me what led to that and take it on.
Okay. Again, my parents were very intentional in exposing us, especially to education. So my dad was very academic centric. My mom is very life centric. So there's a line my mom to date still uses. We're the type of kids who never ever missed a school trip, any trip whatsoever. Because mama alikuwa anashinda akisema, endeni, travel the world as much as you can. Msikuwe wajinga kama mimi.
Wow.
Yeah. So she believed that the more you're exposed out there, the more knowledgeable, the more successful you'll be. So now you put these two people together as parents, they never wanted us to be whatever encompassed ama tukiwa tu pale hivyo Dandora. So yeah, so they went out, looked for a school for us. This is me and my sister, mwenye amenifuata. I was in class 4, she was in class 2.
Your older sister was in what class at that time?
My older sister was in class 7.
Okay.
6 or 7. So 7. So she didn't get an opportunity to transfer school. Walisema
the timing.
Yeah, she was much older. So yeah, alisomea Dandora all the way through. But she's super smart. Like she was the best performing student that year in hizo times zilikuwa zinaitwa province no constituency amani like alikuanga my sister ni wale wanakuanga kwa gazeti unaona wale top 100 primary school alikuwa hapo, high school alikuwa hapo. Anyway, so yes, we're in class 4, so we transferred to a school in Parklands called Hospital Hill. Hospital Hill at this point used to be either number 2, number 3, or number 1 nationally.
Wow.
At that time they used to
rank them.
Yeah, they used to rank them. So my dad really wanted us to get the best. So he can only afford to pay the school fees, but we can't move. So because pesa yote inaenda kwa school fees.
Yeah.
So tunaishi Dandora. So that means waking up by 5 a.m. By 5:30, 5:45, you're out of the house so that you're in school on time. Remember, I'm in class 4. My younger sister is in class 2. The first term is the only time my dad took us to school. Na ni kupanda basi hapo, hakuna gari.
Yes.
My entire life, my parents never had a car. So I think I was the first person to buy a car in our home. So alitupandisha basi akatoa every day anatuambia hapa ndo mnapandia. Tunafika Tao, tunashuka, hapa ndo mnashuka, and then matatu za kutoka Tao hadi Parklands zinachukuliwa hapo. Kwa ile nini ya pale Koja, za roundabout there. First time. After that, me Tao naweza kuchorea at the back of my hand. Like yani hakuna chuo, hakuna kona sijatembea Tao in primary school. So
can you picture yourself putting your daughter?
Nijikute. Oh my God.
Can you picture yourself sending your daughter?
My God.
To Tao.
Yeah. And back then, it's normal. It doesn't look like a big deal. Wow. But yeah, we used to commute every day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, what is this experience? You joined Hospital Hill in class 1?
Class 4.
Class 4, sorry.
Yes.
Class 4.
Yes.
Hey, class 4 means you're still young.
Yeah.
Maybe 14? No.
No. Class 4.
12.
Class 4, you're around what? This is 1996, so I'm 9.
You are 9, my brother.
Yes, I am 9.
Wow. It's not like that you're
No.
9 taking you and your sister going together.
But let me tell you, that thing really, because now you're operating like an adult, and that thing has really helped me in life, because I became so self-independent when you're so young, and then I became so exposed, because you're walking through Tao every day, so you're interacting with hawkers, you're seeing the way people are doing biasharas. So like I became so independent. When I was in primary school, my dad used to have different businesses, like alikuwa na chain of dry cleaners in Dandora. I'm the guy who used to go around collecting the money, because you're not going to mug a kid. Hakuna mtu ata suspect mtoi. This is Dandora, unaweza mug you anytime. But yeah, so like mimi ndo nilikuwa nimeachiwa hiyo responsibility, collecting the money from the dry cleaners, doing the math, sometimes even paying rent.
What?
Yeah, by the time I was when we were in class, sorry.
Pole, kuna maji hapo.
Sorry about that.
Is it?
By the time I get to class 8, this is in the year 2000, my dad alikuwa at least grow money wise, akasema haya, toka enda ututafutie nyumba. So I was house hunting. By the time I was in class 8. Yes.
No, let me just say, like, I on CT, I don't like fast forwarding if they are gems.
Yeah.
You get,
Sure.
there's no point at TRT. We have to hear the story, so we move in a rush. We're not in a rush.
No.
Your parents are incredibly intentional.
Very.
You know, I have a friend who's moving, their child is moving school, and they're also intentional parents. So they're moving their child to a better school, but also that means they have to move. You get? So your dad was like, hey, listen, we can't afford houses there.
Yeah.
But these kiddos need to leave this place.
Yes.
Your mom, at the same time, the words she's saying is like, you guys go so that you don't end up like me.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
To them, Dandora was not home.
No.
From the get-go, from the day you're born, they're like, these guys are not from here.
No. For them, they were there because of circumstances. But in their heads, they wanted better for us. This is not where they had pictured us living.
You think about it. By the time you can't afford to live in the area, but the school, I mean, you're looking at your maths, so you're like, school fees itachukua 40% of the salary.
Yes.
Or 50%.
Right.
These are the ones is for food and for transportation.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, and you know, that is so common even to date. A lot of Nairobians, a lot of Kenyans, the schools where they want their children to study or where they take their kids to study, they can't afford to live in the neighborhood. That's why you see kids at as early as 6 a.m. watoi wamelala kwa basi
Yeah.
Because the parents live really far from where the school is at. But you as a parent, you want to give your kid the best. But sasa shule iko Runda.
Bro, many check.
Huwezi afford kuishi Runda.
Let me say, you don't even know what you've said right now.
Yeah.
Umeni check. Thank you for that. You know, sometimes I would be like, why on earth are you putting your kid in a bus at 5 a.m.?
Right.
What's wrong with you as a parent?
Yeah.
But for them, that's what I'm saying, umeni check. You've made me see this is their way of giving their child the best.
Kabisa.
It's not abuse.
No.
It is like, we toka hapa.
Trust me, there's no parent in their right mind enjoys seeing their kid struggle to wake up that early. Because if that kid is in the bus by 5:30 a.m., it means they woke up at 4:30. There's no parent enjoying that. But, Aki, you know what? I want you to have the best. So that school, I can afford to pay the school fees, but I can't afford to live in that neighborhood.
Wow.
Like what your friends are doing. Their parents who can't afford to keep moving houses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, bro. Hey, imeingia deepness. So, okay. Now, I want to understand. Did you get culture shock?
Where? Where? Yo. Bro. Culture shock is right from Miss Jayona choo ya kukalia. Dandora mnaishi kwa ploti, choo ni ile moja na ni zile ukuanga chini. Then you're going to a school, choo wanakalia. This is a public school, but it was so well run and it was so good. I am walking into a school, kuna students wazungu. Like, yeah, cause it was yes. I am walking into a school with a swimming pool. Mi siku ya kwanza karibu ni drown kwa hiyo pool. By then I was in class 4. Tumeenda swimo, mi sijaingia swimming pool. Kierere, na hidi baby pool nikaruka, nilijua naenda kudedi. By the way, from class 4 niliingia kwa swimming pool tena nikiwa class 6. Towards the end of class, I used to get an excuse because I was scared. I'm in school, my desk mate ni Mhindi. Mi sijai patana na Mhindi.
Wow.
One on one, but right now my desk mate ni Mhindi. I go to a school. The kids I'm with in class have chauffeurs. Like ile gari ina drop mtoi asubuhi. Si yenye inampik jioni. Like tumeingia class, maybe mtoi amesahau homework, so they go to the main office, they call home. Like, okay, no, let's call home so that my driver can bring my homework. I'm like, what?
Driver ni nini?
Huko ni wapi?
Yako na mathri kwake.
Wow. I remember there's a time a deskmate of mine came to school with a catalog. Catalog ni zile magazines ziko na like back then, well, there was no internet, so if you're selling perfumes, Walkmans, Discmans, they had a catalog. So the guy comes to class with a catalog. He's going through the perfume section. He sees
ni kama Amazon, lakini kwa
magazine anaona perfume CK. It was blue in color. I still remember it. He says, yeah, I want this perfume. I'm going to get this perfume. 2 weeks later, he comes with it to class. I'm like, bro, ikitu liko kwa magazine, meaning iko US, but uko nayo sahi. And then, because of kids playing and flossing angekam nayo shule, I think by second day kuna ilianguka ikavunjika. So for an entire week, the class was just smelling of this. I had never smelled.
Cologne.
Yeah, Cologne. Wewe. Perfume kayo. By then I was like, when I grow up, I'm going to be using a CK perfume.
Na sasa yuko nayo.
Squeeze hata haiko kwa list. Yes, culture shocks. First trip, I'm in class 4. So nimejoin to class 4. First school trip, tulienda Tanzania.
What?
Mi ni mtu nimezoea kwenye nilikuwa nimetoka Tomboya, tukienda school trip tunaenda Bomas of Kenya, Animal Orphanage. First trip, the trip tulienda ilikuwa Amboseli National Park, and then we passed by Namanga, the border. So we also got into Tanzania. School trips, tukiwa Tomboya class 1 to class 3, madhe alikuwa ananipea 5 bob kama pocket money. Manze na kumka class 3 kuna time alinipea 15 bob. Alinipea zile 5 bob kubwa. Hizo yes, alinipea 3, sijaipewa domo bibi. So now class 4 tunaenda hadi Amboseli, tunaingia hadi Tanzania. Madhe yani amenispoil, amenipea pesa, alinipea 20 bob for a school trip. Then I'm in the school trip. Kids are chucking 1,000 bob notes. At this point, the 1,000 shilling note had just been released. Watoi wamepewa pocket money ya 1,000. For me, it's crazy. It's crazy. And a phase of my life that I'm not very proud of was that period. Mpaka I know it. From class 4 to class 7. I'd go into supermarkets and I'd shoplift because you have pressure. Because you're going to school with these kids who have all these things. Mi nataka Walkman, Discman. Mi siwezi ambia madhe na mzae wanibaie.
Hujawahi kupatia note. Wewe kuna coins.
Alafu namwambia kubaie Discman ya 700 bob. Haiwezi. Yeah.
So I know, okay. I want
So
us to stay
culture
here.
shock, yeah.
But you see what you're even telling me. So first and foremost, the culture shock is bringing peer pressure from the perspective of
Yeah.
it's the first time you realized you're poor. Let's call it what it is.
Kabisa.
You get what I mean?
Yeah.
You're seeing kuna levels. Na hii level, even the richest guy in Dandora, amesota.
Kabisa.
And you're seeing, did it affect you positively? Before even we go to that story of was there a point now where you're like, Allah?
Yes, 100%. The way I'm living now, the life that I have now, I attribute it 100% to that period when I went to that primary school.
Wow.
Because it showed me better. It showed me my kid can be dropped to school with a car. So I knew from the get-go I want a car. First of all, hiyo kuamka 5 ndio ufike shule on time, matatu za Dandora. Mimi manzika kuna goal nilikuwa nayo is buying my first car. I bought my first car by the time I was 24 years old. Like I need to buy a car. So, and then sometimes if I leave school a bit early, I'd walk from Parklands all the way to Tao so that I save money, your transport money. So I'd walk through Parklands and I'm seeing this house. There's a house, Kwanza, there's a specific one where low campus here, University of Nairobi iko. I know right now there's a
car flyover.
Yes, there's a car flyover. So just before the car flyover, I know there's a Shell petrol station with a Java. Right opposite, there's a big white house. People might not notice it, but it used to stick out then. A big white house. In my head, that was State House. And then, so I used to walk there every day, and I'm like, kuna watu wanaishi kwa hii hao. When I grow up, nataka kuishi huko. So, what I was exposed to was a good life. Like, people were living good lives. And I promised myself, this is the life I want. So for me, even nowadays to date, because I still do a lot of talks and I still go back to Eastlands, Ghetto, kuongea na wase. By the way, I am super convinced right now, we don't need to be talking to these people coming from the ghetto. We just need to lift them, take them to posh places, expose them. After that, it will change their mindset.
Wow. You know, your story, there's a running theme. Exposure.
Yes.
From your parents, from yourself, from that word exposure, we can attribute it to where you are today.
100%.
It made you see Allah. It made you set a goal.
Yes.
Unaona vile matu umesema gari. But here's the thing. That exposure comes with pressure.
Oh yeah.
And that pressure can lead you to do wrong things. Now, let me say this. That pressure is even amongst, it's not at the ghetto kid coming to the rich school. It's even the rich kid going to the rich school. Because you can be a rich kid, myself included, but the school I went to, they are richer kids.
Wow.
You get? So you're trying to realize, even in this rich game,
kuna levels. Kuna levels.
You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So it makes you now start doing things to try and fit in.
Absolutely.
You get? So for you, that thing could have been the destruction of your life.
Oof, man.
You started shoplifting.
Yes. So, not very proud, but because it's something small as when kids come to school, they have snacks. Mi mtu yangu sijaiona pizza. Watu hiyo wanakuja shule na pizza. So sijawahi ona. I'm trying to remember the name of this candy, but kulikuwa na lollipops fulani hapo bigi. I can't remember the names. Hizo vitu hazi exist Dandora. Juu lollipop moja ni kaa 20 bob. Dandora naye ananunua lollipop for 20 bob. So as a kid, when I walk into a supermarket, I'll pick that lollipop and put it in my. I'm seated next to. Your time the class 4 sasa mnaanza kuandika na fountain pens, ink pens. Me, my parents, the most they can afford ni sio big, zile za ink. Kunazo zilikuanga cheap, zilikuanga 20 bob. zilikuwa zinaitwa aje? I can't remember.
Ingia comments.
Yeah.
Tukumbushe.
I think zilikuwa zinaitwa Fountain. No, Fountain Pen.
Fountain. Okay.
Yes, I think that was the brand name. Fountain Pen. Very cheap, ugly things. But manze, uko class na mtoi anaandika na Pelican. Pelican pen was like 1,000. And then the ink yenye nakuja nayo ni sijui quilt. I'm trying to remember the brands. So, you know, so for me, if I walk into a supermarket and I see this Parker pen, put it in my pocket. Because I want to live on the same spectrum as
you want to feel not lesser than.
Yes, exactly.
Then let me ask you, what made you then stop? Because you see, you start small.
Yes.
You're successful.
Yeah.
And I keep saying, if you do something for 21 days, or I've had this,
yes,
it becomes a habit.
A habit, yeah.
And now a habit becomes a lifestyle. You get?
So now, going back to the environment you raise your kids in, remember all this time, I'm still living in Dandora. There's huge influence. Now, Dandora, stealing is a very normal thing. By the way, huku nje mnasemanga ni crime, but man, stealing was so normal. Like, that was such a normal culture, like amongst boys and amongst young people. You're playing, you walk into somebody's house, you pick something, you know. That was such a normal thing. So the shoplifting thing was also because of my background.
Yes.
Because when I go to Dandora,
to get when you don't have, this is how you steal.
You steal. That's a very normal thing. So what made me stop, believe it or not, is when we moved. Because when I was in class 8, first time actually, that December, my parents moved us now to Parklands. My dad could finally afford Parklands. By the way, tulihamia Paki, that urge of stealing ilisha tu. Like, for some reason, there was no need to shoplift anymore.
Wow.
Yeah, just like that.
Hey, this story is crazy. I still want to stay in this school era. From class 4 to class 8, you were in that school.
Yes.
So you did KCP in class 8?
Yes.
Are you doing well in school?
Yes. I was always top 10, like stream-wise, until class 6-7 hapo. 6-7 hapo nilianza mchezo. Mimi hata sijui nilianza tu mchezo. Adolescence kaingia. Unaanza kunotice madem. Kaanza mchezo sana.
Ukapointi, ukajibu, ukachure.
So, but I was kwanza I remember 1 to 13, like most of the time, because this time round, remember, marks zilikuwa out of 700. So I used to average anywhere between 520 and 550.
Oh, dude, you're clever.
Yeah. Again, sina option. Kumbuka, home, living room is staff room.
Yeah.
And that's why maybe to date I still hate school. Because with close school, napata father amenifanyia timetable ya holidays. Like this, by then niko na a timetable, Monday morning from 8 a.m. tunasoma this to this, you go on break, then turudi tusome hii, then go on lunch, and then both my parents are teachers. So tukifunga shule si wote tuko home. So I can't. So I was forced to be an academician. I didn't enjoy the school part.
Wow.
Yeah, but you couldn't fail.
But also it was your protection. Imagine your free time as in that era. Again,
the intentionality of my parents. As a kid, I hated it because it meant I couldn't play a lot. And the few times father alikuwa ananipiga nikienda nje kucheza. So alikuwa na make timetable so that I'm busy the entire holiday, so that I'm not always outside.
Hata kwa hii story, I've not heard you talk about a friend in Dandora. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
That's incredible for somebody who lived there. I've not heard you say, no, nilikuwa na Johnny. You know.
Unaona so you mentioned Juliani. Hiyo kikosi yote ya uko fulani. Tulikuwa tunaishi on the same
wow.
Like when Kalamashaka were writing their first songs, or when they were walikuwa na do ciphers, I used to be the cat kid over there. Their small bro, Kama Keishaka. walikuwa naishi, but it was like a 2-minute walk from where I grew up. Like that whole uko fulani, apart from Juliani ndo alikuwa Dandora huko chini.
Yani alikuwa neighbor, stranger.
Yes. So Zaka, we were on the same like block. Wenyeji, there was Zaka and Roba.
Yes.
Yes, it was Roba. Yes, kwa wenyeji. Roba tulikuwa tunaenda kununua mafuta ya taa kwa. Walikuwa nauza ile mafuta ya kupump na mkono, hiyo drum. Like yeah, the whole of Koflani, they were in our hood, so I actually saw them nurturing, come up. MCK alikuwa na train gymnastics. They were a bit older than I was. So I grew up with all these people, but the minute we moved, that was it. I think my parents were super intentional also with cutting me off. Because after tutoke Dandora, sikuwahi rudi tena. Nilirudi after like 20 years.
You know, it's incredible. I didn't think this where the story would go. And Stitia na kujanga hivi.
Yeah.
To just hear somebody's story,
right.
And pick the value from their story. Bro, your parents were intentional.
Very.
So in this school, me niko hapa because I would have been, well, guys looking at you and wondering, bro, unatoka wapi? Dandora ni wapi? Dandora. Yeah. So I know in that school, kama uko na driver, hujawahi enda Dandora.
Of course.
So what was the relation now like?
So I remember I was an actor. Quote unquote. So somehow I quickly found a way to fit in. Again, the beauty about this school was it was a public school, but it was so well run, you'd think you're in a private school. So it was still very affordable to a lot of people. And then because it was doing so well, it used to be top 3 nationally, like every exam. So the rich wanted their kids there, but even us, the poor guys, wanted our kids. So yes, I'm from Dandora. I think kwa hiyo shule kulikuwa na watu wa Islands, maybe I was the only one. I can't remember. But utapata kuna watu wametoka Kabete. Like okay, I'm not saying Kabete is poor, but yeah. So it wasn't
just
bad.
from Parklands.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So it wasn't as bad, like getting in there, but it made me stand out. Ule boys were ghetto, so it kind of gave me an edge. Yeah.
Okay. So are you doing film things in this thing, or are you doing creative things? I'm a ball.
At that point, ni bag ya ball. At this point, so in Dandora again, for you to make it, it's either I think for young people in Dandora, for you to make it out of the hood was sports. Ilikuwa ball. Because we'd have scouts coming, especially from Norway. So kulikuwa an organization ilikuwa inaitwa MPESA, Madare Youth Sports Association. I think it's still there. And they used to get a lot of funding and scouts from Norway. So they opened a branch in Dandora. Ilikuwa inaitwa SAI. I can't remember. So being a young kid from Dandora, ball, yani nilikuwa naipea 101%.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was your ticket out?
It was my ticket out. Yeah. So at this point, by the time I'm even going to the new school in Parklands, I'm really into sports, but I've always had one problem. I was always the smallest one in class. So it always used to hold me back. One, remembered kuna class niliruka because I was smart enough. So in any class, all the way right to college, I've always been the youngest.
Wow.
And then I'm small. So nataka kucheza ball, lakini walimu wananiambia bro utavunjika. So I played every other. Mi sidhani kuna sports kwa jaribu. I tried basketball, bro, you're too short. You can't. I played handball. I was trying every sport. Because again, remember, arts was still not a thing. But something that used to happen is anytime I'd enter into, there was what brand? Was it a Kiwi art competition? Every time I'd enter any category, I'd win.
Wow.
Yeah. So arts, I was always good. Sports is where I really wanted to make it because it's the only thing I'd seen people.
Omoka.
Yeah, Omoka with. Yeah.
Okay, that's crazy. You know, I've had Savara here. Savara also talked about, I've had a couple of guys who grew up in East Lando.
Yes.
And ball for them sounded like a ticket. Even people who have not, even Ekodida who have not had here, ball again, need ticket.
Kabisa. It was the only way out of the hood that was not academics. Not academics. Usikiangi wase academia sana. Yeah.
Okay, let's close. Is there anything else from this Hospital Hill story place that you want to?
What? Exposure. Ikirudi ikikam tutarudi tu.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you do in KCP, and what year do you do it?
So I do KCP in the year 2000. Very disappointed with my results.
For real?
Yeah, because again, nilikuwa nimezoea, I used to get like 530 to 550. So one thing our teachers told us when we were doing KCPE, because you're going to hand over the answer sheet. Whatever answer you give, because ilikuwa zile choice, mark it on the it's called what? On the exam paper. So the teachers in our school walibaki wakimark exam paper. So the result I got for KCPE was 490 marks. Wow. I was heartbroken.
Average of 70.
Yeah, because me sikuwa napata 400. Mi nilikuwa boys wa 500 and above. But later on, when we came to pick the results, the teachers now, is the first time I heard this name called standardization.
Yeah.
So, because remember we were...
marking, yes.
They told me, Phil, I think you got an average of maybe 520 and something. Which... now for me, again, changed my trajectory, which is always for a good thing. So I'd always chosen, I either wanted to go to Starehe, that was my first choice, Starehe boys, and then Lenana. So I missed them. I missed out on those two schools. Niliitwa Jamhuri. Niliitwa Jamu.
Which is next door.
Which is next door. But wazazi wangu hawangekubali because it was a day school. Yeah. So I ended up getting so my dad who got me Dagoretti High School, which was the only boarding provincial school in Nairobi.
Wow.
At that time.
Dago is good. Dago is good. In fact, hata hapa Julian Macharia amekuwa Dago, Waire amekuwa Dago.
Kabisa. By the Dago used to like pick cream of the cream. It was the only boarding school in Nairobi.
Yes.
So you want your kid in a boarding school, na haja hit target your national school. So the next stop is Dago.
Just explain to somebody, there's a word you've used, standardization.
Yes.
What is it?
I hope I do justice to it. I'm not in that world. But standardization, the way our government reasons is, you're in Hospital Hill, you're in a school in Parklands, you even have a lab. Like we used to have a science lab. But you're doing the same exam with someone in Moyale, in Kajiado Deep, who's never even seen a lab. They only see it theoretically in a book. So basically, what they do is they lower your marks.
And they raise.
So that you're on a level playing field. And that happens, I think, even to date.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, for example, if it's an exam, you'll find that an English paper, no kid scored above 70%. And you're wondering, we have always been scoring 90 something. Yeah. So it's been standardized ndio mweze kuko on a level playing ground.
How messed up is that? The world doesn't standardize. No,
I know.
Tuna standardize.
No, hakuna standardization. Ni kubaya. So, I mean, I'm again not in that world, but we really need to think about our education system. And history, having one exam that is the same across board ishe. Because enye mto yako in a school in Parklands, ukimpe exam ya computer.
Ako sawa.
but ukienda for kids somewhere deep in rural, hata hajaiona computer. So wezi wapea the same. So they should be examined differently from these guys. But anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Dago, what year did you go to Dago?
2001.
2001?
Yes.
Bro, at this time, muziki haja kushika? Kenyan, are you into music? TV, sahi umepata KTN? Ama sahi ndio inakam?
Sahi ndio inakam.
Okay.
By our first TV bado nikiwa high school.
Oh, so sahi haja kama?
Sahi bado hajakuja. Man, Dago.